Oh, hi everyone. Quick one. Just a few thoughts about Resident Evil 8, which I completed yesterday. Playing it at the same time as James Flashback TNT, so we had quite a lot of discussions back and forth between us as we were playing it. And I wanted to turn it into a bit of a video. So me and James, as I say, having a bit of a chat about it as we played it, and we're just having a bit of a back and forth now about our sort of closing sort of thoughts about the game now that we've both finished it. So what I'll do is I'm just going to read a few bits out that me and him have been discussing. No spoilers. Anyone who's not played it, don't worry, I'm not going to ruin anything for you. But so overall, I did enjoy the game. I like 7 a lot. I thought it was a good reboot for the franchise. I think it was much needed. And 8 is very much a continuation of that. It's a direct sequel to 7, and it is very, very Resident Evil 4 centric. So if you're a fan of Resi 4, Resident Evil 8 is definitely for you. There's a lot of nods to it. A lot of the formula is very similar. But obviously it's a 2021 game using the Resident Evil 7 engine. So it doesn't feel like a throwback at any point. So yeah, without giving away any, so I won't obviously talk about everything that me and James have discussed, but I will, because obviously that would spoil stuff. But just a quick overview. So James asked me what my favourite section of the game was, and my answer to that was the castle section and the next two lords, if you like, after that. Really enjoyed that section of the game. Worst section of the game, the factory. I'll leave it at that. There's nothing wrong with it. There's essentially nothing wrong with it, but it's one of those typical sort of sections that you have in every Resident Evil game where you're away from the main setting. So the equivalent would be, I don't know, underground labs, sewer sections. I'm just thinking of stuff from previous games. It's where you're sort of away from the main setting, and I just found that I tend to find that these sections drag a little bit, and I feel a bit suffocated, and I just sort of dead keen to get back to the main setting. So it's just me, but as I say, that's just a personal preference, and there's nothing wrong with it essentially. Now James asked me what the scariest moment was, and I can't really think of too many jump scares. It possibly affected by the fact that I didn't play it at night very much. I was quite frequently playing it during the day, just the way it went this time. But there was a lot. The game is good at the tension, and just the atmosphere is good. But I wouldn't have said, thinking back, I don't think there was any moments where I felt sort of, where I jumped or had sort of scares, if you like. Something that me and James did discuss was the sort of theme of mutated monsters in these games, and they're kind of, I think we both agreed that we feel like they're getting a bit overdone. I found the bosses quite easy in this game, actually, to tell the truth. But yeah, just the big mutated monsters, they've lost their shock factor a long time ago, and if the game ever resets again, perhaps 10, whenever that sort of, if we get as far as 10 and get to that point in the future, I'd like to just see them scale that back a bit. Less is more sometimes. I don't think that the big sort of grotesque bosses, they just don't really generate a fear factor for me. But that's just again that's just my opinion. Horses for courses, as they say. Boss battle. James asked what my favourite boss battle was, and I said it was a bit of a cop out. Actually, I'm not gonna put that out on here because it potentially is a bit of a spoiler. I did, as I say, find the boss battles quite easy at times. There's actually harder enemies in some of the levels, sort of regular enemies. Thoughts on weapons is pretty standard fare for the modern Resident Evil titles. There is a section where that sort of changes up a little bit, but again, not going to talk about that on here because it's potentially a bit of a spoiler. So yeah, that's a discussion me and James having back and forth. Overall, if you liked Resi 7, if you liked the 2 and 3 remakes, absolutely no reason at all you won't like this. I'll be playing it again. Also, obviously, as I said, if you like Resident Evil 4, there is a lot of inspiration from 4 in this. There's a lot of nods to 4. So yeah, if you're a fan of 4, then you're definitely gonna enjoy this as well. So yeah, overall, it's not a perfect game, but I really did. Once it got going, I think, to be honest, there was a little bit of. I think initially I was a bit sort of disappointed and could see the Resident Evil 4 influence. And I've finished Resident Evil 4 for the first time very recently. I think it was end of last year, perhaps. It took me quite a few goes to get to grips with 4. Once I did play it, yeah, got right into it. It's the same with this game, really. Initially, I weren't convinced, but by the time I got in the castle, yeah, felt like a Resident Evil game. So that is it. Hope everyone who picks it up enjoys it, and cheers for watching.